of people are new to this, but I was true to it because I was following before there was 100,000 subscribers, like me and my sisters, and you know.
That's SheraSeven.
SheraSeven, yes.
And I recently checked out her page, thousands and thousands of views, and she's been doing it for a very long time.
For sure.
Yes. So I was telling every woman that I met in person, like, you know, there's a content creator that makes really good content just about, really, it seemed like how women could take their power back is how it felt. That's how it felt at the time.
Yeah. So that when you went from a place of not wanting marriage at all, and then you started to want marriage. Was she a part of the reason?
I believe that, you know what? Probably.
This is why I say that it's a difference between being married and being successfully married, because it's a lot of people that get married for the wrong reasons. And anybody that has ever done a review video or seen what the SheraSeven chick was about or the type of advice that she's giving, my interpretation of it is to basically take advantage of men and to go for men with money. They don't talk about character. They don't talk about whether or not they're a good father. They don't talk about whether or not they're God-fearing. And it's a lot of people. And this is why it is so important for you to cite your sources and look for people that's going to give you advice or that really has the credibility behind a space. And one of the reasons why there's other content creators that are being labeled red pill or extreme when it comes to feminism on the women's side. And this is the reason specifically why people say, are you qualified to give advice? Because what sounds good doesn't necessarily translate into results in real life. For all of the heat that I may get, for people that may not necessarily like the way I say it or how I say it or anything like that, let's be very, very clear. Very clear. I am not here to make you feel good. I am here to give you results. So when you see these women that look at what other people are saying, like the SheraSeven girl, and then she takes her advice, and then now she's sitting on this podcast, shout out to Harley Initiated to my guys, but she looking stupid as piss because she got with a guy, in my opinion, for the wrong reasons, and then that guy turned out to be a monster according to what she described the circumstances to be. Well, you get what you got. You get what you asked for. You get what you voted for. You get all of that, right? From a political perspective, you get what you voted for. From a relationship perspective, you get who you listen to. You are the sum total of the people that you surround yourself with. That's just the facts. But now she up here, and here's the worst part about it. She invited all of her friends or whoever it is that will listen to the chick to go and do it. And none of those people is going to come back and give you no advice on how you're supposed to manage through this crisis. None of them.
Probably, and I hate to say that, but probably it just seemed more secure for a family. It just seemed right. It just seemed more stable, like we would be on a solid foundation. And I prayed to God about it because, you know, you can subscribe to certain things that people talk about, but you don't have to subscribe to everything that they talk about.
Can't differentiate the two because you sheep and they wolves. You don't know how to separate between when people are giving you good advice that would be conducive for your life versus somebody giving you some advice just because, you know, it seems like it's at the time financially advantageous for you to take advantage of it. You don't have the discernment to be able to differentiate between the two. You don't.
And I've always had a relationship with God, and Jesus is the one true Lord. And I prayed about it and asked God to send me the right man. It wasn't just about what he had. It was never about what he had. Because if it was about that, I had a lot of other options with more. And it was really about how he treated my children.
That's not what she said in her content. Let me listen to some more.
Because he seemed to love my boys. And he said, oh, those are my boys. You know, you remind me of my mom. She was a single mom with 2 boys. And I would just love to help you and be there for you and be the man you guys need.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
So, you know what? I want to, before we actually
So he was willing to volunteer himself to be a step crash dummy, which I always say, red flag, red flag, red flag on the play. And y'all didn't see that coming? Okay.
To, the situation that took place with your husband, I think it's important to, talk about the impact. I'm actually happy you shared that because, we had that we had a debate just the other night where that was a part of the conversation because who you watch and learn from.
Who y'all think he talking about as far as who they had a debate with the other night? Who y'all think he talking about?
That's discipleship. That's mentorship.
Oh my goodness.
That's who you are, in submission to.
Yes.
Under their leadership.
You know what? That's so true.
The thing about it is now when you're discipling under somebody to make the most important decision in your life, this is how I choose my partner. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest decision we make. Mm. They have a lot of influence on our future and the future of our children. What do you think was the biggest takeaway from that content creator in particular that impacted you? What was the biggest takeaway, or what empowered you from her in particular, that made you feel that safety and security? Like, what was it, a particular lesson or principle that was given to you? To all my soldiers, we are knee deep in spiritual.
Shout out to my dog.
Women are taught a lot of times, like I stated before, that women are taught that their value is in what's between their legs. And she was the first person that said that it was true. And you don't have to give it away to just anybody. A man should be worth your time. He should be, taking you out. He should be investing in you. He should be making your life easier if he cares about you. And that's what I took away from it.
I think that makes sense.
I want to ask you this because, right now, hindsight, with where you are today, do you feel like that was the healthiest content to digest, or do you have any regrets in really watching that content to help guide your decision making?
So funny thing about me is I don't have regrets. I believe that God is working in perfect order, in perfect timing. And there's nothing that happens that he has not approved or seen. And unfortunately, our family, not just our family, but our family
She's a really pretty
in public
girl too.
have, especially my daughters, have had to be sacrificial lambs in the result of what has happened. And yeah.
So now let's talk to me about meeting your husband now, because I can imagine after you watch this content, it's probably preparing you for the suitors that come into your life, how to vet them, how to manage them. Was he one of the early suitors?
Yes.
Was he the first one, or were there a few guys before him?
You ain't got to be the best. You just got to be first.
He was one of the first few, and he pursued me heavily, which I liked. I think that women like a man that pursues and says that, I want you. And
you initially met him online?
Yes, online. I'm sorry. We met online.
What do I say about meeting people online? No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You gonna learn. You're going to learn one way or another.
I don't want to throw the website out there, but if people have been watching, then they know. I don't want to make the website a bad place. That's not what it's about. But we did meet online, yes.
I get it. And
there's nothing else to see here. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. The lesson is learned. The lesson is being preached one way or another. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life.